Hey, good morning. This is Jerry here over at Wealth Dynamics, coming to you live with a video here. I'm on my way over to the headquarters for the day, and I wanted to hit you with a quick video to talk about recessions. Okay, so what is a recession? A recession is an economic downturn, typically a lowering of GDP, and I think it lasts 2 quarters or less in length. So that's usually a recession. It's a 6-month dip, right? Now, if you look at a recession, I think it's at least 2 quarters is what the number is. If you look at a recession, for example, in 2018, okay, you had 2 types of things happen. Okay, you had homeowners losing money and you had people in the stock market losing money. Those were the primary groups of consumers that got hit. Now, don't get me wrong though, the recession did cost corporations money. However, those corporations were pretty much bailed out by the government. And it's ironic because the recession was caused by those very corporations. So if you're watching this today, I want to ask you, how much did the 2008 recession cost you? Okay, did you lose 401k money? Did your home go down in value? Did your business go under? Those are all things that I want you to be thinking about, not from a gloom and doom perspective, but from a refresher perspective. Okay, it happened once, and it usually happens once every 7 to 10 years, and it's been 11 years. So we're going to have another one. It's not an if, it's a when. It's going to happen. And typically, you guys have heard the phrase, the rubber band gets pulled back further and further. Typically, that's the effect that happens too. If you keep pulling that rubber band back and back and back, guess what's going to happen? Eventually, it's going to snap. And the velocity of that snap is going to be much worse than, obviously if you would have let go and let it do its thing a lot sooner. All right? Now, I want to give you guys a couple of numbers really quick. The number that I'm going to give you today is 13 trillion. Okay, 13 trillion. That is the amount of dollars that collectively United States citizens lost in the 2008 recession. Okay, I'm going to say that again because that's a crazy number. In 2008, collectively, Americans lost $13 trillion in the recession. Okay, that's home values going under. That is 401ks being chopped in half. That is people losing their businesses, their jobs. $13 trillion. That's almost half of the U.S. debt. Okay, a little more than half of the U.S. debt was lost by Americans in one single year. Okay, now 2018 wasn't even a recession. In 2018, Americans lost $4 trillion just in the stock market. So this idea that we have like this economic, golden era and there hasn't been a recession in so long, I don't want you guys looking at unemployment in the news. I want you studying the facts. Okay, if we're in an up year and Americans lost $4 trillion in the stock market, what does that tell you? Right, that's basically a third of the 2008 recession. So if we're in an up period and Americans are still losing a third of what they lost in the 2008 recession just in the stock market, that means we're close. And here's the thing, when people lose money in the market, they're not just losing money. The money doesn't disappear into thin air, it goes to somebody else. Okay, money is never lost, it only transfers hands. So the 13 trillion that was lost, somebody gained it. Okay, somebody picked up that 13 trillion because they did something smart. And it might have been, at the cost of another person, but they didn't do it for that reason. They just did something smart. Their money went up and someone else's money correlated and went down. So what I want to give you in this video, if you're watching this today, if you're an investor, if you're a homeowner, if you're a consumer that's putting money into your 401k plan, you need to be out of those assets when this recession happens. I was talking to a guy the other day and he's like, man, I'm trying to pay off my house. And I was like, that is a terrible idea. Because you're going to pay off your house and then it's going to drop in value. So essentially, you're going to stick your money into a black hole and it's going to disappear because your home won't retain its value during the recession. Don't pay off your house. Pull all of the equity out of it. Right now, I have several clients that are coming to me and pulling their 401k out of the market. They're doing self-directed and they're putting it into real estate and they're putting it into sacred accounts and they're putting it into bullion. And the reason why is they know that the market's been at an all-time high for several years now and they want to catch it while it's high and get those gains and get out of the market for good because this next recession is going to be bad. Now, in order to profit, I don't want to just give you guys a bunch of gloom and doom and not tell you how to fix it, right? In order to profit, you need to be in 2 different asset classes, okay? One of them is called non-correlating assets. Non-correlating assets are assets that do not move with the market. So if the market goes up, it doesn't mean they also went up. And if the market went down, it doesn't mean they also went down. And some examples of those would be like small business equity. Some commodities, you'd need to track them and index them to see if they do correlate with the market. And then the other one would be life settlements, which is one of my personal favorites. They're not correlated with any economic indicator whatsoever. That's called a non-correlating asset. Now, the other asset class that you need to be in is called an inversely correlating asset. And an inversely correlating asset is an asset that goes inversely to the market. If the market goes up, this asset typically goes down. And if the market goes down, this asset typically goes up. And so that would be things like bonds and notes, gold and silver bullion. And that's going to basically give you, the ability to pull your asset value up or your yield up because the market went down, which it's going to do. So right now we have a ton of clients buying gold and silver from us. So we have a gold and silver brokerage. And so we're helping clients get set up with gold and silver. And the reason being, I had a conversation with the guy the other day, and he bought silver. Check this out. He bought silver before the 2008 crash at $6 an ounce. He bought 3,000 ounces at $6 an ounce. So you do the math on that. 3 times 6,000, he bought 18,000 ounces of silver. Okay? Now, after the market crash happened, silver did blow up in value, and it went up to $50 an ounce. So he sold it at $50 an ounce. So you do the math on that. 18,000 is what he bought at. And now 3,000 times 50 is 150,000. So he turned his 18 grand into 150 grand with little to no risk and little to no cost. And then you can convert that 150 grand and put that into real estate, because now real estate values are down and you can buy it on sale and produce cash flow with it and refund the 18,000 that you had to spend. Like, think about that. That's not how your typical market guru, financial advisor, investment guy says to do things. So if you're watching this, I want to do something for you really quick. Before I forget, I did create a free membership site. So if you're watching this today and you would like access to that, I'm going to drop that in the comments for you really quick. And it's going to give you free access to a membership site that we created. And it's called jerryfetta.com/recession. Okay, now the site is free. There's about 3 hours of content on there. The first module is a video course that's about an hour long that I taught last week on what to do in a recession. So if you want to watch a course, it's an hour long, and it's going to give you all of the myths about recessions, all of the truth about recessions, what you need to start doing, and give you a step-by-step approach to getting there. That course is available on that free membership site. Now, I also have an ebook. That's module 2. So if you want to study through the ebook, take notes, highlight, underline, it's going to break things down in even more detail for you. And you can access that for free in the membership site as well. That's module number 2. And then module number 3 is a summary article that's going to give you a condensed, all right, here's what you need to do. It's going to break everything down, simplify it. That way you can, in a 5-minute period, really gain clarity on where you need to be going in this next recession. So that's all in the comments. If you click on that link, that site is totally free. There's no gimmick. There's no catch. You don't need to enter your credit card number. None of that. It's not going to bill you every month. It's a free site that we created because I want you to have this information, and you're not going to get it anywhere else. So click on that link, jerryfetta.com/recession, if you would like to check that out. And I want to thank you for watching. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And did I mention to subscribe? All right, guys, thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.